Paul Graham from OptimalBody.ca. Today I'll be answering the question, how do you know if it's water weight or body fat that you've gained? Often I talk about how the scale can increase, and a lot of this has to do with water weight. If someone's getting off track with their diet or they have a larger meal, they'll often wonder how much of that is water weight or body fat. It can be complicated figuring out exactly how much is body fat or water. At the end of the day, you probably don't need to know the precise amount. The first thing to understand is that you need in excess of about 3,500 calories to gain a pound of body fat. Now, it's important to understand that you're also having a potential to store more protein or more carbohydrates when you're eating in excess of calories. So you don't just need an excess of 3,500 calories total, you often might need an even larger excess than 3,500 calories to gain an actual pound of body fat. Keeping this in mind, you want to use some common sense figuring out, is it water weight or body fat that you're gaining? So if you've had one meal off track, stop and kind of figure out, well, how many calories did I consume in that meal? And be honest, try not to be judgmental or create a lot of guilt or shame around having a larger meal. Just look at the actual data of how many calories did I realistically consume. And this can start to give you an idea. So if you look at how much extra did you get for that day or couple of days, however long it's been, and think about the 3,500s. Often people won't be in an excess of even 3,500 calories, but their weight goes up several pounds. So right away, that's indicating to you that most of that is going to be due to water weight. Another thing you can do to help decipher if it's water weight or body fat is to look at if you are swelling up. So a lot of times people get a puffy face or hands or feet or joints, and a lot of this is due to water retention. So if you're getting this, again, you know that it has to do with water retention. Another trick you can do is weigh yourself, then wait about 4 or 5 days going back to your normal diet, the way you typically eat, and see your weight again. Oftentimes within about 4 to 7 days, you'll see the weight go right back down. Again, this is indicating to you that it was water weight, not actual body fat you're gaining. Finally, probably the best way to be able to tell is you can actually check your percent body fat with calipers. You need training on how to do this, but you can get some basic measurements pretty easy by ordering calipers online and looking at some YouTube videos that can walk you through how to do this. And that can give you a clearer picture in terms of body fat. One thing I would suggest if you're looking at body fat is be very wary or careful of using the scales that you step on or the things you hold in your hands that estimate body fat, because water retention can really throw those numbers off because it's measuring how quickly the electrical impedance or signal that's sending goes through your body. So you want to be very careful because those can be especially inaccurate if you're retaining water. How do you know if you've gained water weight or body fat? It can be really tricky to know, but use some common sense and don't get too caught up in it. Instead, go back to doing what you were doing previously with your nutrition.